The second player that we will be trading is Andrew Wiggins of the Golden State Warriors. Mike, you're on the clock.
I was hoping to go second so I could
Oh,
blow
well, I'll
Dave's
go first
mind.
if you want.
Go ahead, because I have the
All
perfect
right.
spot for him.
Okay. No, I mean, it can't be better than mine. I have a one-for-one trade. It's swapping problems. Let's go Andrew Wiggins to the Utah Jazz for John Collins. Listen, man, I just think the Warriors, they need a big who can shoot. John Collins at least will shoot. I don't know if he can make. And the Utah Jazz need a wing, and it opens up space for Lowry to play more at the four. So, I mean, this is just a win-win. It gets Wiggins to a place where, he won't have the media scrutiny that he has in Golden State, and he'll play for a really good coach in Will Hardy. And he fits really well for what that team is doing right now. I mean, I think that he helps them get into the play-in. John Collins obviously just adds some size to the Warriors, which they are one of the smallest teams in the league. So I think that this is a win-win. The salaries work exactly. You don't need to add any picks. Don't add any trade fodder down at the end of your bench. Just swap them. Maybe they could trade houses. Just make it easy, like one for one. It's so easy. Just leave your cars where they are. Just swap people. It's fine.
All right, Mike, who are you trading Andrew Wiggins to?
Are you ready for it? Andrew Wiggins, he's coming home. He's coming home to the place that he should have known, Cleveland. All right? He's going to go to Cleveland. He's going to get traded for Karis LeVert and Isaac Okoro. Also, a near exact trade financially for one another. Cleveland is still trying to fill that big wing hole. They still need help, right? Karis LeVert, not quite it. Isaac Okoro, definitely not it. Max Strus, it's just not working. The minivans had some problems. It's just not going there. Andrew Wiggins, he's got title on his resume. He's got that championship DNA. Maybe they can revitalize him a little bit, put him into that lineup. Maybe this is the guy that can plug that big hole for them. And for Golden State, all I'm saying is it makes their cap sheet so much easier. Going forward, they're obviously in the timeline where they're just trying to make less of a luxury tax burden for themselves.
I love that this is just salary dump for Golden State. What's funny is
wait, hold on.
It's not just salary dump.
I know.
When you were saying he's going home, I thought for sure you were going to send him to Toronto. I'm like, they're going to take another Canadian guy?
Nope. 2014 number one overall pick.
I say this, Wiggins is theoretically great for them, but he's so low energy now that he wouldn't help them. And then for the Warriors, Karis LeVert and Isaac Okoro aren't as good as Wiggins at Karis LeVert only scores, and I think Wiggins is better. And Isaac Okoro only defends, and I think Wiggins is still better. So, this is good if you're the Warriors and you want to tank. But I don't think they want to tank. They don't want to waste a season. Whereas if you get John Collins, maybe John Collins has the most wide open shots of his life because he's playing with Steph Curry and pick and pop with Steph Curry and John Collins. Buddy, that's a wide open 8-foot away from the defender 3-point jumper every time you run it. I mean, John Collins is a pretty smart player. He also adds a little bit of rim protection, which they just do not have outside of Andrew Wiggins, actually. So, to me, this is now yours is funny because sending him to Cleveland is hilarious. Mine is actually this works for everybody.
No, I know.
Not to hate on your trade because I like it.
And I'm not here to disagree with you. I like the John Collins trade. I've liked John Collins for a while. I see it. I actually don't think that this is just a salary dump. Yes, getting him long-term off the books helps Golden State. We've seen it since last summer that they're trying to think far afield, and Joe Lacob is a little tired of cutting all these checks. But if you remember back about 20 years ago, when another Bay Area team had to make a trade to save the coach from himself by sending Eric Pena away, Michael Pena away, Jeremy Pena, whoever that first baseman was, so Scott Hatteberg could play. The Warriors got to play Kuminga, right? This opens up the space for him to play for Moody in the rotation by sending Andrew Wiggins out. Steve Kerr doesn't have a choice anymore. He can't just rest on the guys, rely on the guys that have won a title for him, and he has to play the young guys in the situation. Not to mention that Kuminga is just better right now. He's been playing better this season. This is the internal strife for the Warriors that they can't quite get all the way there and rely on the young guys. Chris Paul is unreliable because of his age and his injury history. You get a guy off the bench in Karis LeVert who can add a little bit of pop when they need it. And Isaac Okoro, I don't know. You just take a flyer on him. Maybe you put your special Warriors magic, sprinkle it on him, and see if he can hit a three every once in a while.
He's going to be playing the 5 within a week.
He can play the 6. I don't know, like whatever. Take your chances.
Isaac Okoro is going to be playing center for half the games. I mean, it's just look, and the other thing is that the Warriors need size, man, and they don't need another wing that doesn't have an identifiable role come playoff time. They don't need that. Like they need.
But Andrew Wiggins is not playing well right now.
I know
he's got a role that he's not doing well. What does that get you?
This is where I think Kuminga is more of the answer there on the wing, and you need a big guy. Period. Looney has fallen off a cliff, which, by the way,
makes me
been
sad.
Getting a pass. He fell off a cliff on defense too, right? Like he's less effective offensively, but fell off a cliff. And they need a guy who can just go out there and be productive, even in his minutes at the 5. And I think John Collins is the best option that you got, and probably the most gettable too.
Yeah, but there's a reason John Collins keeps getting traded or almost traded or perpetually almost
He's
traded.
Been on the trade block since he signed his first extension.
Right, exactly. Even before then, they were like, we want to trade him now. We'll give him $125 million.
This is because money is evil, man. That's what it is.
we'll do our takes on capitalism a little later. I'm just saying, like, I think this trade can help the Warriors. They do need a big, but like this gets them something else. They're not going to get, I think, a high impact big if they're trading Andrew Wiggins, despite your fake trade offers. And I think this gets them there, and it makes things a little easier down the road too. And they finally just invest in Kuminga and give him a chance.
Dave, I have one gripe with your trade. The Jazz are currently on a 6-game win streak, and as you mentioned earlier today,
on their last 19.
Yeah, they're crazy right now. So why would they want to trade for Wiggins? Someone who doesn't look good right now. Maybe the future doesn't look that bright either. Like, why trade for him?
John Collins is I think owed more money, and it's like longer contract, but also it's more about the positional fit. If they got Wiggins and it didn't work out, they probably flip him this summer. Not that big a deal. There's no role really for John Collins if he's not hitting shots, not really defending. Wiggins, I think, is gonna he's gonna snap out of it. He's at least gonna be a serviceable rotation guy for them by virtue of his position. Positional value for two-way wings is just through the roof. And even if they underperform expectations, which that really is what it is with Wiggins, he's not been good, but in particular compared to his previous standards. So I think if he could go out there and be passable, average starter on the wing for them, this is a huge upgrade. Nonetheless, just having a guy who can go out and guard 2, 3, and 4 on your roster is a big deal, especially if they make it to the play-in and you might need him to go out there. Maybe they're playing the Lakers. He can go guard LeBron, things like that. I think he's just a better fit for what they need. Collins is getting no run come play in.
I just think there's one thing we've ignored in this conversation. I could see my trade happening from the Cleveland perspective. I don't quite see it happening from the Utah perspective. I don't know why they would want to acquire that contract and bog down their cap sheet that far out into the future with this like young, fun, interesting team and take away the flexibility that they worked so hard for with the Mitchell and Gobert trades and all their draft picks and all that stuff. I just think that, like, I don't know if they would do that unless it also came with probably like a first round pick attached.
Yeah. And maybe to
make it happen.
I don't know about a first because it's John Collins. Maybe 2 seconds. You know what I mean? Maybe a fake first that becomes a second. It's funny. You can see all that, but you can't remember Carlos Pena.